My dear brothers and sisters, today's first reading presents us Abraham, the father of faith, how Abraham loved his son Isaac, and Yahweh tells him to sacrifice his only son. And in the Gospel we hear God the Father speaking to his son, saying, "This is my beloved son, listen to him." And there in the mountain we find Elijah and Moses along with Jesus, where Jesus takes Peter, James and John. Something very, very symbolic of what happened in the Old Testament with Moses and Isaac is the same that happened to Jesus Christ. And therefore, both were on the mountain tops. We see Yahweh telling Abraham to take the son to offer him as a sacrifice. And we know the Jewish custom. The Jews did not practice human sacrifice. They did the sacrifice of the lamb, that is a blemishless lamb. They performed that according to the laws that were laid down. And therefore, it was very practical for every Jew to experience a sacrifice. And many of the Jews were caught up with the sacrifice. And that is how they were more interested in sacrificing lambs, sacrificing animals to Yahweh, so that it pleases Yahweh and they are blessed. And we know that Yahweh, whenever there is a sacrifice offered on the altar, He performs a covenant. And that covenant we see in last Sunday's reading, when Noah got out of the ark, and there he sacrificed the offering, and Yahweh blessed him, and that is the covenant that he made with the family of Noah. Now similarly you find that here today, that Yahweh is now asking Abraham to sacrifice his son. What kind of a covenant that this can be was the doubt in the mind of Abraham. Because it was always a lamb that was sacrificed, and today Yahweh in a way is testing him to see whether he is ready to offer the only beloved son of his as a sacrifice. And we know the story, what happened. Give to your mom and dad, give to your elders, give to those who are in authority. That is how you and I learn from the scriptures. Biblically, it is not sacrifice that I want, but your obedience. It is not that offering of sacrifices that I want, but your obedience. Look at the number of sacrifices that we do. And look at the number. Where is the lamb for the sacrifice? I am carrying wood, you are carrying a knife. Where is the lamb for the sacrifice? Abraham says, Yahweh will provide. That is the trust that he had. That is the faith that he had in Yahweh. Even though he knew that Yahweh has commanded him to take his son and go and offer him as a sacrifice, he still says to his son, listen my son, Yahweh will provide. If you and I learn to trust, Yahweh will provide. Even if you and I are tested in the way how Yahweh tested Abraham, you and I will be provided with what is necessary. Be sure about that. And that is how you and I will learn that obedience is greater than sacrifice. Another beautiful aspect that we see here is that after going up there, the Lord gives him that lamb to sacrifice. Therefore, the covenant of faith takes place on that mountain. Instead of Isaac being sacrificed, the lamb that was caught up in the bush, he takes and offers it for the faith that Abraham had. The same faith you and I should have when we offer Eucharist, when we offer Masses. We offer Mass for so and so, we offer Mass for so many people. Do we have that faith? Do we come with that faith? Because Jesus very clearly says that this sacrifice is an offering. But what about your obedience? That is your faith. Do you trust in the God in whom you believe? Therefore, we very clearly see the instructions that we see. What is given to Abraham is a clear sight that you and I will have to have that faith in God. Abraham did not want to sacrifice his son, but trusted in God. And you and I will learn that Jesus also was not willing to offer himself as a sacrifice, but he trusted in Yahweh, his Father. So when we see Abraham going up the mountain, his son carrying the wood and the lamb sacrificed, so also we find Jesus Christ going up the mountain, carrying that wood on his shoulder, and there on the Calvary, he is crucified on that wood. So we see there is a perfect obedience of Abraham and the perfect obedience of Jesus Christ on the cross to his Father. That is how we see that Abraham trusted in God, for he knew that Yahweh will provide. Jesus Christ in the agony at the time when he was in the garden, he cried out, "Let this cup not pass away, but let your will be done." And therefore, God gives him that courage and strength to go through that suffering, that he is going to be crucified on the wood. And that is how he trusted in God. God sees us praying, my dear friends. Remember always this, that we are also sometimes caught up with such situations that we lose trust, especially when sickness hits us, when misfortune takes place, when there is crisis in the family, or when there is crisis in each one of us. There are so many people who are losing jobs. They find it very difficult now to live their life. Many of the people who are working beautifully in abroad, Dubai, US and Australia, many of them are returning back without job there. They can no longer stay there. Now they are losing trust in God, and then they are not able to understand why this is happening to me. Just like now Abraham, why this to me? But he so obediently goes, for the Lord will provide, he knows. When you and I will also go through such situation, if you have to come back from US or from Australia or from Dubai, if you trust and come back, the Lord will provide. It is only that trust that is required. Just like how we find in the New Testament when Jesus cures people, he asks them, "Do you believe?" And they say, "Yes, Lord, I believe. Help my unbelief." So you see, the trust is entrusted in the hand of God. When you trust God, you are putting the burden on God and saying, "I belong to you and you are going to do the rest for me." And that is how Abraham also put his trust in the Lord, and he knew that he is going to provide. And finally he comes back home with Isaac, with a sacrifice which he offers on the mountain. He comes back safe, back home with Isaac. You and I will also come back safe to our life if only we put our trust in the Lord. Look at John James and Peter, how they went up the mountain. When Jesus said, "Come, let's go up the mountain." And they did not know why Jesus was taking them up the mountain. They went up the mountain, and there in front of them, Jesus transfigures himself. See, when they trusted in Jesus and followed him, Jesus shows his glorified self. And when they see that, they are unable to, in a way, believe that Jesus, who performed such miracles, now is able to show his real divine self. And to confirm it, there is Moses and Elijah, the one who brought the law for the Israelites, the one who is the greatest prophet in the Old Testament. Therefore, the prophet and the law confirms that Jesus Christ is the beloved Son. That confirms for each one of us that you and I now learn to trust in Jesus Christ. The only problem that we find with Peter, James and John is, let us make 3 booths. That's quite common. Let us make 3 booths. Why 3 booths? For Moses, Elijah and Jesus. But what about Peter, James and John? They are not bothered about themselves. They know that it is the Lord who requires places. But Jesus says, come on, you are caught up with the glory. Never ever be caught up with the glory of God, but rather live your life worthily. Because sometimes we are caught up with God, with divine, with retreats, with prayer, that we are in a way forgetting our work, our family, and our responsibilities. Therefore, one important aspect that we see when Jesus says, come, let's go down the mountain. It's not only important to see my glory, it's also important to go down the mountain and live our lives. In other words, in the church is that where the liberals are, and there are the pious. These two are important. The pious and the liberals are important. Dorothy Day, a great example of great personality, she would conduct rallies to show the importance of human rights for the people of America. And at the same time, she would be in a church, in a procession, reciting the rosary for the entire congregation. She was a liberal as well as a pious. When Peter, James and John went up the mountain, they were caught up with the divinity of God. But God says, come down the mountain. It is also necessary that we have to be liberal, go down, live our lives in the society. As you live your life in a society, be pious. As you are pious, live in that society. And that is why I always say, Dorothy Day is a great example of how we who come for Eucharist are really enticed with the great gift of Jesus Christ coming into us. We receive His body. We now learn to become totally different because the transfiguration took place in the mountain. Is that transfiguration also taking place in my life? Am I able to transform? Am I able to become a better person? Am I able to change certain situations in my life? Am I able to make hatred go away and bring love? Am I able to bring forgiveness where there is differences? Am I able to bring joy where there is sadness? Am I able to bring peace where there is war and differences? Therefore, now it is time for us. If I learn to become pious, I need to become also liberal. I need to transform my society. I need to transform my family. I need to transform myself. I need to transform so that I may be a better person. Then you will hear those voices. Every time you will hear those voices, the voice that will say, "You are my beloved son. You are my beloved daughter." Amen.